I'm the continuous proof of their existence. Okay, right?
But still, there's a problem because number one,
If you
the universe
if you
began
consider
to
yourself singular, I mean, you are here, we are talking to each other. Somehow our discussion is a connection. We are not necessarily one. But, in my pocket. Sorry.
I sort of see where you're trying to get to, but there's a problem. You see, the universe had a beginning. So your ancestors going back, they didn't exist forever.
Okay.
Yeah? And we also know that eventually we'll all die. All human beings, right? God, we can only say about God what he says about himself. And something which
Would you accept the idea that God is like a totality of existence? No. Why not?
Because if I make this ladder, I don't become the ladder. I'm separate and disjointed.
Well, it should go to quantum physics. I don't know much about it, but somehow you make the ladder, but it's yours. So yes, it might be, because if you weren't for you, the ladder wouldn't be here. So the ladder is you. It's a continuity of you.
But the thing is, look, there's two different things here. Number one,
But if we focus on how they are different, why not focus on how much they are the same?
but there's a problem. Number one, when you refer to quantum mechanics, everybody
I don't know much about it.
everybody has a different interpretation of what quantum mechanics is. They say some particles can exist at two places at the same time. Other people say no, right? They're different. So we can't use that, because if we use quantum mechanics with all these different interpretations, we might as well not have a conversation, because there's no logic. There's no logic, there's no rationale. It's all like brain fizz.
It's true.
So let's just stick to what we do know, which is logic, common sense. We know that a carpenter doesn't become the table when he makes the table.
But the table wouldn't exist unless it was for the carpenter.
Exactly.
So therefore they are
Finite.
Yes, they are linked.
No, they're linked. One is the creator, one is the creation. And look, God exists. Look, this universe didn't exist. If God is the universe, then that means when the universe didn't exist, God didn't exist.
Do you imagine there would be a sense in a God without his existence, without his creation? Why does Bible begin with the creation?
No,
I mean,
the thing is,
but the Bible doesn't begin with, there was God all around and he was wandering around. The idea of God without his creation is absurd, right?
not really.
Why
The thing
not?
is, God.
Can you imagine him?
God
It would make sense.
Look, God is the first. He was there before there was anything, and he is the last. He will be there when everything is destroyed, right?
But
So reality.
what if they're the same?
No, but that's an assumption.
It is an assumption.
No, but
It is.
But it's an assumption which is highly problematic, because I have the properties of being soft.
Yes.
This has the properties of being metal.
It's true.
So if you're saying God and the universe is the same thing,
Yes.
then the properties of the universe become God's properties.
Yes.
And the universe had a beginning. Does God have a beginning? Okay, so if God had a beginning, what made God?
Well, if everything, there was nothing, there was something.
No. If there was nothing, there would be nothing. We wouldn't be talking right now.
Exactly.
Yeah? So,
have no
the
clue.
only conclusion is there is something which always existed. Because we're here.
I'm just trying, to put out the
But
balls.
I will tell you one thing, right? One thing very important. All of our rational faculties that we use are limited.
It's true.
So I can't see what's happening in China. I can't
It's
hear
true,
what's
it's true. We are
happening in
limited.
Russia.
It's true.
Okay?
Accept it.
Likewise, our brain is limited.
It's true.
What we can know is very little,
It's true.
but we can be certain about what we know. So we know we exist.
Exactly.
We know that our eyes are complex, the world is complex. So when it comes to theology, it can very easily, if you delve into a topic without knowledge, you can go astray. You can go and come up with your own ideas.
You need a guide.
So you need a guide. So we believe that God has sent a guidance, and it is
a
that
moral code.
It's not only a moral code. It's sent us a guidance. And one of the things He tells us is, don't talk about God what you don't know. He tells mankind, don't say about me what you don't know. And he introduces himself with a very logical concept. He says, I am one. God is one. He has no beginning, no end. He has no son, no father, no family. He's one. And nothing is like him. So God isn't a man in the sky with a beard. Anything you imagine is not God. And that is about the basic concept of God in Islam. That's about as far as we can go. Anything further, we know God is merciful.
Mankind can reach to godness through Jesus.
No, because
it's illogical from your point of view because man by nature is limited.
Yes and no. We don't believe you can go to God through Jesus if you worship Jesus. But if you believe that Jesus is a messenger of God and we should follow him, and that is a way to God, there's nothing wrong with that.
Just semantics. I mean, if you believe he's a messenger, if you believe he's God, what's the really big difference?
The difference is, Jesus said, the Father is greater than I. Now, I don't believe Jesus used the word Father for God. But even,
I don't know, I've never been there. So,
But Jesus made it very clear, even in the Bible that we have today. He said, I am worshipping God, my God and your God. He told the people this. And in the book of Matthew, he went down and he put his head on the floor to worship God. So he can't be God if he's worshipping God.
Also, Jesus, I don't know exactly the right word, but there is a sequence in the Bible when he comes back to his apostles and he says, listen, I talk to the people in metaphor somehow, something like this, but I will tell you this dream. And I believe that the Bible has to be taken somehow metaphorically, as a story, as a literal truth, not necessarily as a historical fact.
Well, the thing is, look, the Bible was put together a long time after Jesus. But what we do know is this. There must be some elements of the Bible which are the remnants of Jesus' teaching.
True.
That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's total fabrication. And there's certain things in the Bible. For example, the book of Isaiah. Right? It mentions that a prophet is going to come from Arabia, from the sons of Ishmael, who is the father of Abraham. Okay, look. Abraham has a son.
Okay, I believe you. Don't.
Abraham's son, Ishmael, his son is named Kedar.
Okay.
And it says in the book of Isaiah that a prophet will come, a mighty man, a warrior will come from within Kedar, and he will come from a place called Selah, which today is Medina, even according to biblical account, right? This is Medina. So a man did come from Medina. His name was Muhammad, peace be upon him. So that book of Isaiah chapter is referring to this man.
This is the first time I've heard this, you know.
I really don't care if Jesus was or not the Son of God. I don't care if Muhammad was or not.
Well, it's not been listening well. Not been listening well.
For the moral values.
What if God told you? Andre, what if God told you, Andre, that I want you to follow this? Would you do it? If God told you.
Islam is Islam, finish. Christianity is Christianity, finish.
If God told you to follow X, anything, it doesn't matter what X is, would you
There's no
do it?
connection at all.
No, I would
Muhammad has nothing to do with the Bible.
check myself.
Stick to your Quran. And
Okay,
I wouldn't believe that God would speak to me in this kind
No,
of...
but I'm asking
why
hypothetically.
do Muslims want to
If you
break down
knew for
Christianity?
certain
Why?
God has told you to do something, would you do it?
I don't think that's exactly the right point.
Christianity, you
I
come
don't
to the truth.
believe
Comment
that
the truth, that's the thing.
as in their limited can be certain of something.
Are you certain of that though?
Yes, I'm
The Old Testament.
But you said you can't be
We have the
certain.
New Testament. in addition
I am
to it.
certain of not being certain. That is a logical thing. No, yes, I am certain.
So are you certain that you're uncertain?
Yes.
So that means you're uncertain.
Oh come on, that's a philosophical thing.
It is, but it's true.
It is true.
When you are waiting your time.
I'm certain I'm uncertain.
It's very cool, it's very postmodern to believe in this sort of solid system. Yeah?
Yes.
This thing. But the fact of the matter is, it'll get you nowhere.
Your God is different.
If you
I'm okay. I don't really have to go somewhere.
You had your child in
The
this,
Christian God,
right?
the Christian
Is
God.
the child your child?
Are you sure? The Father of our Lord Jesus Christ.
More or less, yes.
The only true God.
Yes, he looks like me. He's kind of mine. He's mine.
You're certain of that?
And there's
Yes.
no other God
Are you certain?
anywhere. The creator of heaven and earth.
More or less. Yes.
Of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So are you
And
also
there's
certain
no
that this
other
jacket
God anywhere.
has an intelligence
There's
when
only
made
one
it?
God, and there's no
Yes,
other
it
God
has an intelligence.
anywhere.
This camera is more complex than your eye. More complex than the jacket. So if you're certain the jacket has a creator, then why aren't you certain the eye has a creator, which is God?
Why waste our time? Christianity is unbeatable.
Because I also have another explanation for the presence of my eye. Like I was born genetic and that doesn't have feet. Don't get me wrong, I don't contradict the concept of creation. I just don't understand why it's such a big deal to have differences about this or that. Okay, so when we call him Allah or God or Messiah or Jesus, the whole point of the book is not technicalities of who was there and who is the son or who is the nephew. The whole point is the moral code, which is love your neighbor, which is the same basically in all religions, right?
No, but I don't agree with that.
No, because what you're pointing is the differences. Was that thing said over there more, that it is more important that he was the messenger and not the son? I really don't think that's important. That's relevant for the Bible.
But you're saying this, you're saying love thy neighbor and other moral codes, that's the most important.
Yes, that's the relevant thing in the
Now,
Bible.
what makes you think that is the most important thing?
I just
The Christians
feel
who do
that
things.
way.
That's fine.
Just as Muslims have got half.
What if God told you the most important thing is that he is worshipped alone?
Now that takes us to the discussion with what if God tells me that well I should blow myself in a crowded space. You see, then there we go. I would rather prefer my uncertainty to the certainty of yes, I know that God
No, but
tells
you
me.
don't have uncertainty. You're certain that loving your neighbor is the highest moral code.
No, I think it's kind of common sense. I don't think it's the highest moral code.
Okay, so
But
you
I think it will take me further than.
Okay, you think it's common sense that the highest code is love thy neighbor, and you don't, and do you not also think, forget higher or lower common sense, do you not also think it's common sense to thank somebody who gives you something?
Yes, yes.
Do you not think God has given you something in this life, like
Yes,
a child,
yes,
a son?
yes.
So it's common sense to thank God.
Yes.
So let's agree on that.
Yes,
and
I agree on that.
And I have to
I
go pray.
agree on that.
But I have to.
Okay, forgive
Because it's Muslims. We pray
Yes,
five
yes,
times
yes,
a
you have
day.
to do.
It's great speaking to you. Have a nice day.
You too.